Before I get into today's episode, just letting you guys know that tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern, I am going to be going live on Twitch. So basically an hour before midnight, I'm going to go live on Twitch. I plan on being there for about 2 hours. I'm going to watch the Falcons losing to the Seahawks and also the 49ers losing to the Cardinals, both of those two games. And, obviously talk about what's going on and everything. So that should be fun. I'm looking forward to those two. So definitely check that out. The link is in the description below if you want to check out my Twitch channel. And anyways, back to your regularly scheduled video. So this wasn't a great start for Adam Gase, was it? No, not at all. Very depressing if you are a Jets fan. Luckily, I'm not, so I can just make fun of it. Definitely a rough start, and there were some real problems. There really was. Like, I'm not just jumping on the I don't know what the opposite of a hype train is, but I'm not just jumping on that. I legitimately think this is a really bad performance from Gase. I thought Patricia got too much heat for his, collapse. This was a mess from Gase from start to finish, and let's just get into exactly why. So what Buffalo does is they play a cover one-man scheme, where basically they're just going to have a safety deep for most of the game, and basically they're going to have 5 players just focus on, covering a player in passing, where, it's like what you see on the screen. If you have 3 receivers in the game or 2 receivers in the game in this case, then you're going to have 2 defensive backs covering them. And then you just have, one-on-one matchups everywhere else. So every eligible receiver, you have a man covering them. This is very basic, a very basic scheme. This is what Buffalo does. They don't surprise you. You know what they're doing. And the problem with going against this, if you're the Jets, is they don't have any good receivers that can consistently beat these really good secondary Buffalo Bills players. And watch how no one's going to get open. You have Le'Veon Bell falls to the ground, and eventually Sam Darnold gets sacked. So that's kind of what Buffalo was able to do, all right? So, schematically, Adam Gase is at a huge disadvantage, right? Because he doesn't have the talent to really beat this defense. So that's 100% true. Like, it's fair to say that. But there are ways to counteract this to some degree. There are things you can do. I think the number one thing that I don't understand why Gase never did was something like a pick play, which is really good against man coverage, or I guess a rub route, quote unquote, because that's the legal way to do it. But you can do a pick play within 1 yard of the line of scrimmage, and there was not a single pick play or rub route early in the field this entire game, which just blew my mind. There were things like this. It's going to be a cover one play again. You have some creativity in what you do with your 11th guy, because one player plays deep, 4-player rush the passer every play, 5-player are playing man, and this leaves 1 extra player. You can have him blitz, you can have him play coverage in the middle of the field. Those are typically the 2 things they will do. Also, maybe you could double team someone, but typically it'll be this. And the New York Jets are going to be having, it's a 3rd down and 8 situation, and Chris Hogan is the one running a route, and that's where Sam Darnold is going to be looking to throw the ball to. Let me reiterate that for a second. In the biggest play of the game for the Jets, really, 10 minutes left, 3rd down and 8, down 14. They need this 1st down. They are going to Chris Hogan to try to make this play work. And listen, I don't want to throw shade at Chris Hogan. He's a fine player, but this is the guy you're running your plays through. It doesn't make any sense to me. And that's kind of why I get a little frustrated when Sam Darnold is getting all of the blame, and he deserves some blame. I even said on my podcast, it's fair to start having the conversations of, is he the answer? But it's like, what in the world are we doing here? This play's not going to work out. Big surprise there. Darnold does actually make a terrible throw. So, again, this is a reason where you can blame him. But at the same time, it's like, what are the chances that that's going to work? Especially when a Buffalo Bills player even ran in and cut in front of the middle, which Darnold might have noticed that at the last second and kind of threw it high. I don't know. I'm probably giving him too much credit there. But just as a whole, it's just like, those plays aren't going to work, and you can do things to beat man coverage. It's not like in man coverage, you legitimately just need one of your best receivers to, win a one-on-one matchup. You can scheme up things, and they just weren't. Like, this play's a great example. It's going to be a 1st down and 15. That part doesn't really matter, So we're almost halfway through the game at this point. So, and obviously Buffalo, they're doing the same thing they did last year. So the Jets know what kind of schemes are coming and things like that. But for the Jets, what they're doing is they're running play action and having 2 receivers run deep over the middle. This makes 0 sense if you think it's going to be man coverage. Now, if you think this is zone, then this can make a lot of sense. You can get linebackers out of position. You can throw over the middle. Honestly, even in man, you can use play action to your advantage if you think someone is going to be covering the middle of the field. You can use that one, to move that one player out of the way. But if you're going to do it, you got to do it quickly. You don't want to do it and have it take a long time because that's not really helping you that much. Not to mention, against man, there is a higher probability of there being a blitz, meaning that if there is a blitz, this now means that you have to hurry up and, get the ball out quicker. And not to mention, if a player thinks that it's a running play and he's in charge of covering the halfback, he is more likely to rush in and creates even more pressure. To see how Darnold basically creates a blitz by faking the handoff, and then the play is taking too long to develop, so they basically schemed their own way into a sack right there. It made no sense to me. This is not the play you run here. It's a play you run, again, you could argue like, oh, well, it's just worst case scenario, but what the Bills are doing. Listen, I want to be very clear. I am not an expert here, okay? I've never played football at a level, not even at high school. Like, all I do is watch a bunch of football. So it's very possible that, I'm missing something. It's very possible that, there are people smarter than me who are going to criticize this. Despite that, I feel incredibly confident that I am correct here and that Adam Gase is making absolutely zero sense. I'm not saying I could do it better. I realize that, everyone who has a coaching position in football knows way more about the sport than I do. But at the same time, this was just a complete mess and a complete utter breakdown. The one thing he was doing that made some sense to me was trying to get screen passes to work, but they really weren't working. It makes sense just against the scheme, but it wasn't really working out too well. Buffalo was doing a really good job of covering them up. And they did them so much that Buffalo was able to eventually prepare for them. Like, on this one, it's going to be, so you have, basically the way it works is that a tight end is going to take a couple steps out, and he'll be the one who's going to be, trying to catch the pass. First, he's going to basically just step in front of a defensive end to, slow him down a little bit and also sell that he's blocking. But then he's going to try to get out to have a screen pass. The other player that you want to notice is going to be the left tackle running out to block a defensive back. This is Mekhi Becton, their first round pick, a very, hyped up tackle. And, what's going to happen is that right when this ball is snapped, you notice that the defensive back runs in pretty quickly. He's realizing what's going on. Meanwhile, you have Becton, who's trying to get in position right here. But it's just really hard for a tackle, especially a big tackle, to kind of get in the way of a defensive back like that. It's a huge advantage for a defensive back to just be able to run around him. That's what he's going to be able to do. He makes a quick tackle, which results in a fumble. Now, I'm not going to put this all on Gase. Part of it was like Becton still could have probably found a way to create some contact there. You still got to not fumble that one there. But he's putting his own players in positions to fail by doing things like this so frequently, where opposing defenses realize what's going on. They can realize tells on how to stop it. And they were able to do just that, and it resulted in a bad fumble. And these are just not good things. And listen, I defended Adam Gase when he got signed by the Jets. I said it's not who I would have taken, but I'm not going to kill them for it. Like, I think that, definitely could work. Maybe they see something. This is just a mess. This is not good. And I just feel bad for a lot of the players involved, quite frankly. And who knows? It's one game. I'm not going to overreact. Maybe Adam Gase can turn it around. He did do a pretty good job at the end of last season. So maybe it just takes him some time. But at the end of the day, this is just a really disappointing week one performance. And I thought the Jets could maybe be sort of a sneaky team. I really don't feel confident about that at all. I think that the Jets are going to be a complete mess this year. That's just my prediction. Love to be wrong. I like a lot of the players on the Jets, but we'll have to wait and see. So yeah, that's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.